I'm watching The Boys at the moment, and I'm about midway through season 1, and this is just going to be my quick thoughts on The Boys. I was cautious on watching this show to begin with because it didn't really interest me. It didn't really sound like intriguing enough for me to spend hours upon hours watching season 1, season 2, and I picked it up to season 3 at the moment. And I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to superhero material. Like, MCU is slowly dying for me. It's slowly becoming old school. DC still has some good stuff coming out, but as far as the superhero genre goes and what it offers, I've just kind of lost interest. It's a lot of the same shit. It has that very basic MCU humor that's in every Marvel movie, and DC has potential now with James Gunn running the DCEU. So I'm excited to see what his plans are for that and to see where that goes. But by the sounds of it, sounds like that's intriguing enough. So The Boys, and I know this is based off like a comic book of sorts. And as far as what my thoughts are on this is actually a pretty damn good fucking show, I have to admit. It's not your standard typical superhero TV show. It's a show that's very grounded in reality, and I think that's what I like about it. Is it's something that could happen. And the other thing is the story has a lot of twists and turns. Its narrative isn't particularly clear, which is usually a bad thing, but in this case, I really like that because it creates a very unexpected turn for the story. And there's really no main antagonist in this because the superheroes, you're not too sure about them. Like, they have some shady shit going on. We have our human characters, which they have some shady shit going on, so you're not sure on who's the hero, who's the villain here. And it's not your basic hero versus villain type storyline. And I think that's what I really like about it. And I think what I also like is these superheroes, even though they have all the popularity in the world, they have paparazzi around them 24/7. Whenever they land in like an event or a festival, everyone's clapping and everyone's taking photos and all that. And deep down, they still feel lonely. They are just another human being. And I think that's what I love about Starlight in this show is her character. She doesn't want to be treated differently. She just wants to be treated like everybody else. And I think she's the most relatable character going on. And I think Homelander has some really interesting stuff going on in his storyline as well. There's this like affair storyline that he has with his with his like headmaster, and so that's an intriguing subplot to see what happens there. And yeah, this show really fucking surprised me. Like, I am baffled with how good it is, and like each episode kind of leaves you wanting to know more. And I think that's what a TV series like this should do. And like, there's definitely humor in it, but it's humor that's timed very perfectly with the narrative, and it works well for what this particular character is. And so I think the humor works in the show really well where it is scattered. Like I said, it's not in the show a lot, which I personally like that direction, and so for the poor lighting at the moment, but it is what it is. And yeah, let's see, like, the action that we do get is very fun. It's also a very brutal and dark and gory show, which is always a plus on my end, so really happy with that. The acting in it, I also think, is just brilliant on everyone's side here. And it has what is his name, Jack fucking, you know, Scream 5 killer in it. Which, you know, watching the first episode, I was like, oh shit, you know, it's the fucking, you know, guy from Scream 5 is in here, you know, that's pretty cool. So, you know, I think this show has a lot going for it. And yeah, it's, fuck, you know, I'm intrigued to see where season 1 goes, and I think this is the best superhero show I have seen in years. Which, you know, there's like, you know, over the years, you know, I've been slowly losing interest in the television world. So, you know, to actually have a show that kind of keeps you invested, that keeps you intrigued, wanting to know more at like what's going to go on in the next episode, how it's all going to turn out, you know, I think it keeps you interested, and you know, I'm really enjoying The Boys, and I think you should all check it out.